I'm here at the Apple Store, very fancy office of the Apple Store in Soho with David Gray.
They look after their, all the people who work for them.
Now, is this, you know you've made it when you get interviewed in a back office of the Apple Store, am I right?
I don't know. I guess these days that's about as high as you can get.
So let me ask you, you're co-headlining this tour with Ray LaMontagne. Obvious first question is, are you trying to outbeard him here, or what?
But obviously Ray was going to win that one. I didn't even attempt to make it a contest. I made a point of keeping mine very low.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's superb.
Yeah, I mean,
with his beard.
It's very well groomed for something totally out of control.
He's actually he's cropped it a little bit.
Has he?
It's not quite as wild and sort of wuthering as it once was.
I think it's probably some of his dessert from like last year came out.
He's got an excellent hat.
Yeah?
I think he's got a new album on, and maybe every time there's a new one out, he kind of brings it back and then lets it grow as they go along.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, let me ask you, this tour, Ray LaMontagne and you, I mean, I'm guessing 90% of the audience is girlfriends who bring their boyfriends. Am I right? Or not necessarily?
I don't know. It's looking good out there.
Yeah. A lot of pretty people, right? So, listen, I am convinced that you could sing anything and it would sound beautiful. So, like, you can just, like, do a song about BP and all that's going on, and you have the voice of an angel. Really.
You're very kind.
I know, man. What is it with you?
I'll try and honour that suggestion, and the BP ballad will be on the next album.
Should we get that?
That'll be President Obama. He's interested. He needs a bit of help with the spin on that.
I hear some weird guy in a hat has kidnapped David Gray. So, obviously, we're talking because you have a new album out.
Yeah.
And I should probably get that. Could you imagine? Answer. No? Hi, very successful singer-songwriter David Gray speaking. So, what was the difference between this album and the last album for you? And do you kind of consciously try to mix it up, or?
I think that this one is a real listening record, and I've taken the sort of understated dynamic as far as I've dared to.
Right.
I've been braver with those understatement and quietness is something I try and use wherever possible.
Right.
So I've let the writing and the voice come to the fore, but it's quite restrained.
Right.
It doesn't really let loose, so it coasts at a lower altitude.
Right.
There's no sort of spikes there, but it's a real listening thing, and it grew in the little cracks in between the sessions we did for Draw the Line. A lot of these songs, some of them were culled from those very sessions, but a lot of them grew in the quiet moments when the band had sort of gone home and I was left to my own devices. So, but all out of the same sort of frame of mind. But this, it's a quiet listening record, more introspective, but picking up some of the threads that were on Draw the Line and taking them a little further too.
Right. So, I mean, what is the songwriting process for you? I mean, do you kind of just have all these ideas in your head and you just jot it down, or not?
I mean, it can start from just a chord change or something that happens in a sound check. The drummer strikes up a really good beat, and I've got to react to that, so I put my music onto it, and then I look for a melody and then a lyric. Or it could be that I have something written down, like From Here You Can Almost See the Sea, and I think that's a good title, I like that.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking for some music that I can maybe, something will come along and I go, oh hang on, what about trying to sing that? And then songs come, I'm always writing down notes as I go, and it could just be a rhyming scheme that emerges out of unlikely words or images being next to each other, and I look to expand that, and I'm always looking for a place to put it, so when chords come I'm trying to use those ideas. It's all these different ways, but really the music tells its own story anyway. As the chords emerge and the atmosphere of the song it establishes itself, you're really trying to fit the mood already, continue telling the story, or whatever. So the songs fit into simple categories. One would be like a narrative thing where I can hear a story, a line seems to want to unravel into a story. I get like a picture of a character, or I'm singing from someone's point of view, and that would be like Gossamer Thread, or Kathleen would be a good example of that. And then in other ones, it's like hanging just images. It's like a slide projection within the music of just one thing after another that creates an effect, and then it's perhaps tied together by the line, you know, at the feet of love, a foundling in the reeds.
Right.
It's like the thing that binds that song. It's just a bag of unlikely words thrown in together, dancing around together, but animated by the music that's underneath it, the strange fabric of it. So those are the ways that I write, and there's no... Sometimes there's song Forgetting on this record, which I should mention too, which came from... I had the lyric, and then I wrote the music to fit the lyric.
Right.
I had a zillion verses that rhymed with forgetting, and to the point of ad nauseum sort of thing. I pared it down a bit, and then that was that one. I particularly like that track too.